The Show Me the Money podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. And from boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. The ability to gamble. Sign up today, bet $100 and get $100 in gambling money at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the College Basketball Experience, the best show on the network, especially when compared to the Show Me the Money. What is up with this copy?
So they wrote this. The head of the network said for us to say this.
Every show is saying the same thing this week.
That show is better than our show. Well, at least they're mentioning our show.
That's true. That's the first time I've seen that mentioned in the copy. Thank you, everyone at Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Guys, welcome to the Show Me the Money. We are your hilarious guides to gambling on the movies. I'm one of the hosts, Nick the Father Turner.
I'm Pat the Hat Stango. Huge episode today. We're talking, of course, about the SAG Awards. The Screen Actors Guild Awards were given out this past weekend. Nick, where were you when those SAG Awards dropped, when the SAG dropped?
Well, I got caught up in protests. Me and some of the older members of the Academy, we were protesting the name of the awards.
Okay, so what don't you like? Oh, the sagginess of it. So you're
it's not the most flattering award to have on your shelf after 40.
Got it. So the thing is, you guys do know it is an acronym. It's not meant to make fun of a skin.
Do not patronize me. I know it's an acronym.
Okay.
Sad ass guys. I know about it.
Yes, that's what it is. But it's not. It wasn't meant to make fun of you. It's other guys.
Okay. Look, there wasn't a lot of support for our protests. It petered out before the ceremony. I didn't watch the ceremony, Pat, because I don't care to watch.
Wow.
No, that's not true. I would have loved to watch it, but I was busy. I'm busy. I have to prepare for an album, and weekend nights are not. I'm not available.
So basically, you were in competition with the SAG Awards. You were putting on a show. The SAG Awards were putting on a show at the same time. You guys are direct competitors.
Yeah, and even in the language of the advertisement for my show, we said, "Do not watch the SAG Awards."
Wow.
Watch us.
Wow.
Make them funny.
I feel like that probably just reminded them that it's on. So the SAG Awards this weekend were not on television. So neither your show nor the SAG Awards were televised. So you were kind of like on an even playing field.
It was on my television for the end. I did finally get to watch the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get YouTube on my TV, Pat.
The SAG Awards were on the Netflix YouTube channel. That is an interesting choice this year. Basically, they were kicked off of television due to lack of interest. They could not even keep a spot on TNT, which is where they used to air. So now they are on the Netflix YouTube channel. I watched the whole show, and I got to say, I had a good time because it was an award show, and I love them.
Hey, Pat, what has replaced the SAG Awards on TNT? That's right, college basketball.
Man, it almost feels like it's a statement about the existence of our podcast that everyone, the universe is saying sports is more popular than entertainment award shows.
Pat, do you remember that that bar on 13th Street?
Okay.
And it used to be like a New Orleans bar.
Okay.
But I think like some other teams also not from New York thought it was their bar too. But I did definitely watch Saints games there with Saints friends. But there was a back of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It was called like Bar something, maybe Bar None.
I do remember Bar None, 3rd Avenue, New York. It was a bar that we used to do comedy at.
Yeah.
And every time they pulled away the like the pool table for a comedy show, the entire bar was mad, which is how you want a comedy show to start.
So they stopped doing comedy there eventually because they had an old door that they propped up onto like workhorses what's those workbenches? What
Workbenches. Yeah, neither of us
what
work with our hands, so that's good.
no, but what do you call like the legs of the workbench that you can move around?
Like a stool or
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
They just tipped a door on its side and started doing beer pong, and it was packed instantly, and they never did comedy again.
Yeah, we're often outdrawn by just doors turned on their side.
I really sympathize and connect to the SAG Awards,
Mm,
and
mhm.
they really are. I know we had a great bit earlier on the name, but what a sad name.
Yeah, it probably is one of those things that didn't strike them until they started saying it, way too late, and then they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, right. That's what this actually means." But, yeah, the rating and it just leads to such easy headlines when the ratings went down because it's like, "The ratings sagged again. Ratings are sagging," and it's like, "Alright, we get it. We get it."
Yeah. So we just we played it on one of the secretary's phones, and anyone in the world who could stand behind her and watch it on the phone watched it, and I got to be honest, the ratings were down.
The ratings are down. Yeah. It's also you see what the actual viewership is when something airs on YouTube. So people were able to see that the SAG Awards got like 200,000 views. So that's
Oh God.
less than, like just a Logan Paul rap video will get more than
Oh,
that in the
for
first
sure.
hour. And the SAG Awards. Yeah, the SAG Awards did
No,
not get
yeah. I've had videos that got more than that. You don't need to see Logan Paul to beat the SAG
I didn't
Awards.
wanna say, yeah, I was reaching for someone who I would know, but who wasn't popular, and then that turns out that's us. That's what our videos used to
Yes.
get, were
That's one of the 1,000 videos we made.
yeah,
One of them
yeah,
got that many.
finally got as many as the SAG Awards. So, but they did happen, and they are important in this big scheme of things on the road to the Oscars. So, just quickly, I'm gonna throw out the results in the 5 big SAG categories, and then we could talk about what these mean. So, the best cast, which is sort of like the best picture for the SAG, that went to Everything Everywhere All at Once, which also the night before won the PGA, the Producers Guild Award for Best Picture. The Best Actress at the SAG Awards was Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere over Cate Blanchett. Best Actor was Brendan Fraser for The Whale, won it over my beloved Elvis Austin Butler. Best Supporting Actor, of course, was Kiwi Kwan for Everything Everywhere, the expected winner. And then another huge upset in Best Supporting Actress at the SAGs. Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAG Award, beating Angela Bassett, Kerry Condon. So those are your like 5 big results that matter from the SAG Awards. So, Nick, I'll go to you. Which one of those really feels like it means something? Did any of these change the races? I think they did, but you tell me.
Yes. I think that Kiwi Kwan winning so soon after the BAFTAs
Mhm.
has put to rest any little heart palpitations that anyone had.
Yes. Yes. It really makes it clear the BAFTAs, well, they just wanted their guy. Barry Keoghan won the BAFTA. Local
Yeah,
boy. It was an
yeah,
anomaly. He's Kiwi Khan's
for
winning the
sure.
Oscar.
When we're talking about Anthony Hopkins winning the BAFTA over Chadwick Boseman at the last minute, like the night before the Oscars, uh, Anthony Hopkins had been gaining momentum
Mhm.
and had won other big things.
Right.
And so it wasn't something that you could dismiss, but Barry Keoghan has not won anything big.
No.
And the BAFTAs celebrated Europe this year, especially with the war going on.
Yep.
I think they wanted to keep it at home. Obviously, they voted for a German movie because not even the BAFTAs are going to support Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah. Yeah, they picked the German, and the Germans just did some awful stuff to the British
Did you
people over
watch
the
it yet?
years. The All Quiet, I have not watched it yet. I have
Okay.
not watched it. I will probably watch it eventually, but I cannot say I've
Wow.
watched it yet.
And that's a promise. Probably eventually you will.
Promise, guaranteed I probably eventually will. Take it to the bank. Don't cash a
Okay.
check, but take it to the bank.
Pat, can I tell you what took me so long to watch the movie?
Well, I know you started it last we talked.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, I finished it.
Okay.
It's been a minute because we're a couple days late.
Yeah.
I watched it probably the next day.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really great.
Mhm.
I really liked it. I don't want a war movie to win Best Picture
Mhm.
because it's not the greatest war movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
It makes a much better point than other war movies
Okay.
that almost always glorify war.
Right, like in the Army now. Yeah.
Well, specifically in the Army now is what I was
Yeah,
referencing.
yeah,
They
yeah.
made him get a haircut. He's known for his hair,
Right, right.
and wheezing the
And
juice.
Weeds in the Juice. Yeah. Buddy. Yeah.
So anyway, I wouldn't be upset if that won Best Picture at the Oscars, honestly,
Wow.
because Everything Everywhere All at Once has won the Oscar already.
I mean, okay, let's
What more does a movie need?
let's just put a pin in this. I mean, obviously next week is going to be our big every category Oscar
I'm
predictions
sorry, you wanted to talk
episode.
about the SAGs.
But well, I mean the SAG, best
You
cast
want to talk
winner.
about Jamie Lee Curtis, just tell me.
I want to talk about everything everywhere all at once. Has it guaranteed itself best picture at the Oscars? It won the SAG and the PGA this weekend. I mean, it's over, right? It's the best picture race is over. Can
There is no precedent for a movie overcoming the odds it would have to overcome to beat Everything Everywhere All at Once.
wow.
I can't say that at all factually,
But
but that's a sentence I said and it sounded right. But I
I
feel
believed
like
it.
in my head, maybe Green Book had not won anything.
No, so no, Green Book had definitely won several precursors. Um,
What did it win?
Everything Everywhere it is stunning that this movie is basically a slam dunk to win Best Picture. And when this
Green Book won PGA.
yeah, when this show started, we very early were saying Everything Everywhere All at Once. I
First episode.
First episode, we thought that would be the winner. And at that
I
point,
have the bets to prove it plus 700
yeah.
for the movie and for the Daniels.
So this is way before there were nominations, way before there were any precursor nominations. That was the movie we were saying. It is stunning how right we were. I mean, obviously it hasn't
Yeah.
won the Oscar yet, but it basically
Yeah.
has. There was almost no way this
Yeah.
movie could lose.
And I don't want to get bogged down on patting ourselves on the back,
Right.
but I do want to mention that one of the great joys of my life has been this week listening to PGA or SAG prediction episodes from other podcasts
Mm-hmm.
because they're so wrong
Mm-hmm.
and it already happened. And I love listening to these because I mean these people got over the Fablemans like 8 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the Fablemans doesn't exist anymore. And you go back 2 months ago, every other awards prognosticator was basically saying Spielberg and the Fablemans, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And now it is if Spielberg has never walked the earth. The Fablemans was never made.
So famously, when Spielberg talked to Tom Cruise at the awards luncheon,
Mhm.
And he said, "Thanks for saving the movie industry,"
Yeah.
which is just something you say to a party to anybody.
Yeah, we've said it to each
I
other.
say it to my friends all the time.
Yep.
Thank you for saving the movie industry, Brooks Wheelan.
Yes.
I'll say.
Yeah.
To my friend Nick Rutherford.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I keep hearing these podcasts, and people are like, "I don't know, maybe a spoiler could be Top Gun."
Mhm.
Maybe a spoiler at the Oscars is going to be a Top Gun. Now, you've been a Top Gun guy, but you know when you stopped being a Top Gun guy? When it didn't win anything.
Yes. Well,
But these idiots literally are trying to talk to me about like this could be. Also, they'll talk about like what could win, and they'll talk about like every movie and be like, "Yep, they all could win." Thanks for listening.
right. They're trying to tell you how Megan might win Best Picture next weekend, and you're like,
Well, it does have a shot for Littlest Legs.
yes. It. I mean, listen.
That might be a VMA.
that might be well, we're gonna cover that eventually, so
For sure,
we'll get
for sure.
there. I mean, yeah, Everything Everywhere sewed it up this weekend and won listen, the PGA was where Top Gun could have made a move. Top Gun needed to win the PGA, it didn't, so Top Gun's out. At the SAG Awards,
Yeah.
Banshees basically had a win. Best cast at the SAG Awards, it didn't. Everything Everywhere did. It's over. So the best picture race is over. But I will say for 3 out of the 4 acting categories, actress, actor, supporting actor, after these SAG Awards, or sorry, not supporting actor, supporting actress, those 3 awards are
All up in
very
the
up in
air.
the air. There is no sure
I'm
thing in
so happy.
yes,
I mean, this is what we want.
yes,
Chaos, because
yes,
chaos breeds better odds.
yes. For both the betting and I mean, we do the big Oscar pool every year, and
Yeah.
it is going to be impossible to do an
Yeah.
Oscar pool and nail all of the big awards because 3 of the 4 acting
Yeah.
categories, you do not have front runners, and some of them have a
That's
three-way
really
race.
fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Because obviously, like, when we're following along, because you are the king of spreadsheets,
I love a
and you
spreadsheet.
make it so we can all follow along,
Mhm.
with automatic adding, which I don't know how you do it. You are a wizard.
I just turn names into numerical values on it.
You start talking to me about cells, and I want you to put me in one.
Yeah.
Okay? Not hearing about it.
We ain't talking about padded cells, Nick. We're talking about
I don't want to hear it.
Excel cells.
I'm
But
banging my head against your spreadsheet.
let's go with supporting actress because the SAG Awards, Jamie Lee Curtis won.
Yeah.
And previous awards in that category, the BAFTA went to Kerry Condon, the Golden Globe went to Angela Bassett. So Angela Bassett had seemed like the favorite. Everyone loves her. She's been around forever. It's time, all that. Coming out of the SAGs, I'm in the camp that says, I don't know who's going to win this award, but it will not be Angela Bassett. That's how I am
Yeah.
feeling right now.
So I don't think we should include the Golden Globes in any kind of like auditions scenarios.
Yeah, it doesn't it's there's no overlap obviously in the voting body, but it
Yeah.
sort of set the precedent where at that time people thought Angela Bassett was the favorite then, and it's clear
Okay.
that she's
Yeah.
that set a
So
narrative.
okay, sure. But Angela Bassett won the Critics' Choice Awards, and didn't
Yes.
she win something else?
I know she's definitely, there are so many local critics awards. I'm sure she's won a bunch of those. She
No,
won an
I mean one of the
NAACP
televised award
award.
shows.
Um
She hasn't won any other televised award show
she didn't win the
besides the
SAG, she
Critics'
didn't win the BAFTA. So I think it would be the Critics' Choice was probably the big one.
Well, no, I mean I know she won the Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes. She came out hot out of the
Yeah.
gate.
Yeah, but no, since
Um,
then she's gone on a cold streak as far as the big ones. Yeah.
so but there's no cold streak. There's only two.
But two, there's I mean when
No, I understand, but but they were both won by different people. So I think, I mean, sure, she should have won them, and that would be helpful in deciding who to pick.
right.
But she didn't. So she came out hot out of the gate. I can't believe. Okay, it's hard not to include the Golden Globes now.
That's the trick of the Golden Globes is no matter how much you hate them, no matter how much you think they're worthless, they're on television and you end up
Okay.
talking about them.
So, but what I want to say is Barry Keoghan won the BAFTA, which doesn't really put him any closer, we really think, to winning the Oscar.
Of
I mean, it
course.
certainly puts him a little closer, but obviously, Kiwi Kwan. We're talking about this happened in Europe.
Right. It's
It's a different continent.
I agree. But
So I don't think the Kerry Condon win there directly, correlates into a renewed interest in the Oscars. And the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAGs makes me think that Kerry Condon definitely does not have a chance to win the Oscar.
Oh, see, that's where I disagree. I've always thought that Kerry Condon was gonna pull this out. I've always
What did
thought
Kerry Condon win?
Other than the BAFTA, I mean, has she won some critics awards? I'm sure she's won some
Yeah,
critics
but critics
awards.
awards don't matter at all. Televised award shows are the only things that matter, Pat.
I just think that category is always
You want to
has
follow
been.
Tallahassee Critics Association, you'll be given a gold statue to Simon Rex every year.
I would get listen, if I personally could hand Simon Rex a statue every year, I would. I would. She's won the Boston Society of Film Critics, Chicago Society of Film Critics,
Nonsense.
the Critics' Choice
Nonsense.
Movie
Oh,
Award.
The Irish girl won the Boston
Yeah,
one?
they gave.
No.
I don't know why you would think that that's anything more than
Let
a
me guess.
coincidence.
Let me guess. An elderly community in Florida Keys voted for Jamie Lee
The
Curtis.
Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics
Hey, whoa,
Association
whoa, that's my
went
hometown.
went for Kerry Condon.
Oh, okay.
So she won, yeah, the AACT International Awards. She's got some wins. And I think the supporting actress category from the beginning has, to me, always been the most up in the air. Angela Bassett was always the softest front runner. Listen, I've said it since the beginning. It's a Marvel movie. Are they going to give an actor an Oscar for being in a Marvel movie?
You know, that is so grating because that's what all those other podcasts talk about every fucking time. The other podcasts always hate Andrea Riseborough, which drives
Well,
me insane.
that's we
And
love her.
and
Yeah.
B, they talk about the Marvel movie thing like they act like they're the first people to bring it up every time. And I know you didn't because you're a smart guy who
No,
knows how to broadcast.
of course.
Okay, that's enough for that category. I still think that Angela Bassett is in the lead. She is
Okay.
currently on my card. If there were a spoiler, I think it would be Jamie Lee Curtis, but I think the SAGs are singularly suited for a Jamie Lee Curtis win. And I still think that the Angela Bassett machine has been running, and the Oscar votes have been open for weeks before these new things happen.
Mhm.
And I think that everyone still thinks and thought that she could win
All
and
right.
that voted for it.
Did you see Jamie Lee Curtis's speech?
No. But
Uh,
is she all of us?
listen, she gave a funny speech, and the Oscar voting closes on March 7th, which means
Hey,
that
Pat.
those speeches that happened last weekend are going to sway people. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis's speech, I'm on board with you. I think Jamie Lee Curtis has a chance. I think her speech helped. That's where losing these awards hurts Angela Bassett because she doesn't get to give a speech right before
I
the
just
voting.
want you to know I have given thousands of funny speeches,
Yes.
and none of them have translated into an Oscar next.
All right. Well, let's go into Best Actor.
Adam Sandler gave the funniest speeches. Didn't even get nominated.
Well, he did get nominated for a SAG award. He did not win.
Yeah, not a real award.
He did not win because the winner for Best Actor at the SAG Awards, Brendan Fraser, is back. He won it. Nick, I mean, what do you think? Is Brendan Fraser back in the lead to win this Oscar because he won the SAG Awards? I'm going to say no. I'm going to start with a hot take. I know I'm an Elvis guy. I'm in the tank for Elvis and Austin Butler. I do not think
Hey, what rhymes with Barack?
the Rock.
A lock. Brendan Fraser is a lock. Lock
What?
and key. Locked up for
Locked
life. Throw
up.
away the key.
My hands are on my head. I'm
He couldn't
rubbing my
even get out of the
skull.
door of the cell if he wanted to.
A lock. So you think the SAG
Lock.
Awards locked it up?
Lock.
Did you see Brendan Fraser's speech? Did you
Of
see
course
this?
not.
Nick,
Was
and
he there?
this speech, and I don't want to talk ill of anyone. I love everyone who makes movies and all that. And I'm
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser, nice guy. But if I'm an
Yeah.
Oscar voter and I see the speech that Brendan Fraser made, I got to be thinking, do I want this to be on the Oscars telecast? And I would say, I do not want this on the Oscar telecast. He does not look ready for prime time.
Baby, you are missing the boat. He won. You got caught. You got caught. You got caught in BAFTA fever.
Not
And it
BAFTA
is
fever.
taken down.
I've
You got BAFTA fever, buddy.
I've had Elvis fever since June. I've had Elvis
Yeah.
fever. It's not
But
BAFTA
okay,
fever.
name all of the non-Golden Globe awards that Austin Butler has won. I will give you 17 minutes to go through them all.
All right. So the big one, of course, is he won the BAFTAs, but
The
that is
only
not.
one.
Um,
It's the only televised award he's won.
there's so few televised awards. So he didn't
I'm
win.
not saying that there's like 3. I know that aren't the Golden Globes. I know.
So he didn't. Of course, Brendan Fraser won the Critics Award. So let's see. So this year he won the Atlanta Film Critics Circle. Won it.
No, what are we doing?
Our AACTA Awards. Dude, won it.
Jesus.
He won a breakout award for the
Wow, we're
Florida
in the
Film
B's.
Critics.
He also won the Hunka Hunka Burnin' I Can't Change My Accent Back award.
Won it. He won that one.
He won.
New York Film Critics Online. He won breakthrough performance.
Wow,
he's got a bunch of breakthrough performance. Sunset
Brendan
Circle
Fraser
Awards.
can't win breakthrough performances. Okay, so if he had been eligible for that and not a giant movie star who's proven time and time again he can get it done,
unless it was a
then
wall,
Austin Butler
then he
wouldn't
could
have this
break
resume.
through. Sunset Circle Awards. You stepped over that, and I want people to hear that Austin Butler won the Sunset Circle Awards. All right, he's won the BAFTA. He won that. He won a Golden Globe.
For the BAFTA.
He won another breakout award in the North Carolina Film Critics
Association. He won the role for
Association.
Elvis and Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
He's got a breakthrough performance award from the Palm Springs International Film Festival. So Elvis was in competition.
I can't hear it myself. That's just who I am. I did this role for 4 years. I know it was only 19 months of shooting, but I say 4 years.
And he won a Breakthrough Artist Award from the San Diego Film Critics Association.
I will mail you this $1 if you shut the hell up.
Well, that was the last one. So send that $1.
You're not getting the $1 then.
To my P.O. box. Listen. You're Brendan Fraser's like. We both agree Colin Farrell's out. Colin Farrell's out. Don't even attend. Out. Stay in Ireland.
Good night. You know what happened?
What happened?
You know what happened?
What happened?
After Sun was released for $7 rental.
Right.
And that guy got a nomination. And fucking Living never came out.
Yes. Living is on no streamer.
No one could ever see Living. How the fuck are we supposed to build momentum for a guy? Kazuo Ishiguro, the guy who wrote it,
yes,
also is like, these idiots who have these other podcasts, everybody says this name every time I listen. Like, oh, well, he's got a good shot. I think he's campaigning, which is why they all met him personally.
Right. He hasn't, maybe he'll be on our podcast.
This guy's got a real shot. No, he doesn't. If you look at, this is what we live in the real world, Pat. If you look at any of these betting sites, he is like plus 5,000. He has never gained any traction.
Right.
That's the real world.
Yes.
Anyway, you got to release your fucking movie if you get nominated for a Golden Globe.
You have to. Listen, going back to Viola Davis didn't get nominated for the Oscar, and I do think a big reason was
Woman King just came out on the streamer. It
came out.
So perfect.
It just came out on Netflix a week ago, and it's already the biggest movie on Netflix. If they would have dropped it on Netflix 3 months ago, she gets the Oscar nomination. That is a fact. All right. So the SAG Awards, you think it's sewed it up for Brendan Fraser. I do think the Brendan Fraser speech is
what?
I think
I don't think we're doing the speeches thing anymore.
You don't think they matter?
Not for the last weekend or the second to last weekend or whatever.
I think this is what. Listen, you think these people are voting on the Oscars or first day? They're waiting to the last second. They're procrastinating. All right, we'll get to.
I do think that's probably the case.
We're gonna make our final predictions on next week's show, so we'll save the final Butler versus Brendan battle.
Okay, Pat, have you ever been a member of SAG?
I have not. No, I am
okay.
Too good.
SAG sucks.
Uh-huh.
SAG is the single worst union on the planet Earth. SAG has something like less than 1% of members make a living, and the entertainment guilds are the only guilds in any unions
Mhm.
that do not help their members find work. That is like the purpose of a union is to make sure you're good.
Mhm.
And they do not do that
Yeah,
for almost every single one of their members. There is no love amongst actors for SAG as an organization.
but there is love for acting and the sort of comeback
Yeah, but
narrative of
you don't
acting.
show your love for acting by your SAG votes. You show it by your Oscar votes.
I mean, I
And no
think
one votes on SAG. I never fucking voted because I don't give a shit.
I think Brendan Fraser is very a particularly SAG friendly story. He's the guy who like, oh, I went away and I got weird and things happened to me, whatever. The whole Brendan Fraser, and then I made a comeback. Whereas Austin Butler is like, I'm a good-looking guy who's a brand new star, and I don't think actors love that narrative as much. But we'll see.
No,
Next
this
week,
guy's got to act in two things before he gets an Oscar. Let's talk about the big one. Is it going to be Kate or is it going to be Shell? Just tell me one name and we'll move on.
it's gonna be Kate.
It's going to be
Right.
Kate so hard. And Michelle Yeoh is going to win the Spirit Award.
Michelle Yeoh's. I listen. Things could change when we make our final prediction next week.
No,
I
no,
don't see a world in which the Oscars give nothing to Tar, because basically at this
yeah.
point Tar is either it's Kate Blanchett or it's not winning anything, and I don't see that happening.
Well, I don't really subscribe to that kind of we give one thing to each movie kind of thing. I think it's going to be Kate because she won all of the relevant awards.
Right.
I don't think, I don't have any respect for SAG as an organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only organization I respect more than the, or
Less
sorry,
than.
Golden Globes are the only organization I respect less than the SAG Awards.
I think though you have a very particular hate that is clouding some of your
No, but
judgment
I
here.
think that my personal experience gives you a window into the experience of most of the voting body.
Okay, so you think most of the voting body hates SAG
For
and
sure,
doesn't
SAG
vote?
sucks. Do you know what SAG is? They are the little fucking mealy worms that whenever you book a gig, they're the first people because you book a gig and then they say, "Give me your SAG number," and then for most people in SAG, it means, "Okay, I've got to go pay my dues real quick."
Right.
Sometimes like I'll book a gig and it'll be like, "Okay, let me just pay $400 for the right to do this,"
Right. So then in the
and
end,
that's what SAG is.
and then that person is like, you know what? Fine, I'll just vote for Brendan Fraser because I'm
Yeah,
already so disgusted. So Michelle Yeoh won the SAG award. I think as of right now, I still don't think that changed in the race, but what it does is it makes it interesting because if Kate Blanchett won the
and
SAG,
Kate Blanchett is now worse odds than uh Michelle Yeoh, and so you can make more money betting on her now.
oh,
They
this is
flipped.
great. This is great.
It is great.
This is great. So now, okay,
Yeah.
so
Also,
basically,
I had a bunch of early money on Michelle Yeoh, so I'm like, I don't care what happens.
right. Because in the end, we now get to put money on the underdog for both of them because we both have Michelle
Yeah.
Yeoh underdog money. And now, do you
Yeah.
believe we're in a world where right now we could bet underdog money on Kate Blanchett for Tar?
It's hilarious. And it has nothing to do with Andrea Riseborough. And I'm blown away. But Pat, it's so exciting
It's so exciting.
to know just every year we get better at this.
Yes.
And to know that like you never put money on a favorite.
No,
You don't have to.
until the
Because
last
the favorite
second.
will eventually become an underdog.
Right. Do not put favorite
Unless
money
it's
in.
like Kiwi Kwan, but it's like when they're that runaway, he came in winning 80 awards already.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing that we're both gonna get to put money on Kate Blanchett after all. It's
Yeah.
very
Well,
exciting.
actually, I actually had put some money on her. Well, she's just such a runaway. I'd put bad money on her. I
Because
mean,
now, yeah,
favorite
I
money.
had not put any Oscar money on her yet because I was figuring I'll wait until
Yeah.
the last second, and now she's the underdog.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
But I just after I watched her performance, I just couldn't ever put money on anyone else.
Yeah, it's listen, it's an all-time performance.
It's an
So
all-time.
so she is also, like Michelle Yeoh, nominated for this weekend's Indie Spirit Award. So this is the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
televised, award show
Yeah.
ahead of the Oscars. It happens this Saturday, March 4th. And this is always a fun award show. It's on
Yeah.
IFC. It's a
I think the mission of this award show is more inclusive,
yes.
and Michelle Yeoh is also in a movie that is so very indie.
Mhm.
From like, despite a Harry Potter fart movie, it's like their first real movie,
Right. 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 Yeah, it's so the Indie Spirit Awards, they do things differently starting this year, and who knows, this may be where the
Oh,
Oscars go. It is a non-gendered acting award. So there's a best lead performance that has 10
you got to give out
nominees.
two of them though.
Well, there's best lead and there's best supporting, and that's it. And they just double the amount of nominees.
Yeah.
So they double the amount of
Okay.
nominees.
So neither of them could win.
Neither of them could win, but so here are the nominees for best lead performance. These are the 10
Yeah.
nominees: Andrew Riseborough, Mia Goth for Pearl, Paul Mescal for After Sun, Jeremy Pope, The Inspection, Aubrey Plaza, Emily the Criminal, Dale Dickey, A Love Song, Regina Hall, Honk for Jesus, Taylor Russell, Bones and All, Kate Blanchett for Tar, Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So interesting thing here is that of these 10 nominees, it is 8 women and 2 men, it looks like. So,
That's so the Indie Spirit Awards, my
yes,
man.
yes. Though it is kind of been a much stronger year for actresses than actors. Like, if you even look at the Oscar nominations, if they
For
went to
sure.
10, it probably would be 6-4 or 7-3 for the
Like
ladies.
the Oscars should have been 3 men in the in the whole competition.
Yes. Listen, I love Adam Sandler,
There's
but
no reason to include like to look for 2 other people.
yeah. I mean, it's like I love Adam Sandler, but the fact that he came in 6th for Hustle does sort of show you what the best actor situation was this year. It wasn't great. Um,
Yeah.
so I think this lead performance category for Indie Spirits, it's not Aubrey Plaza, it's Kate Blanchett versus Michelle Yeoh. Do you disagree with that?
No, there's nothing else to talk about other than, if Andrea Riseborough wins this, the whole world will explode.
I mean, the thing is, Andrea Riseborough got the Indie Spirit nomination before even her Oscar campaign was in the news. Like, the Indie Spirits did legitimately pick Andrea Riseborough way ahead of anyone else. So they do like her, but I still don't think she has a chance here.
I believe that this award will be won by Michelle Yeoh.
I agree, and it's still not going to make me think that Kate Blanchett won't win the Oscar.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I saw this coming a mile away. I put money on this. As at the first week they had lines on Spirit Awards like 2 months ago.
So right
I put
now,
Michelle Yeoh money.
are there lines for it? Because the Bet US has taken it down, but they'll probably put it back up in the next few days.
Yeah, I don't know. Things go up, things go down. They've had it the whole time. Maybe tomorrow,
Uh,
or by the time you're listening to this, it'll be back up.
so let's go to the other acting category in the Indie Spirits. Best Supporting Performance. Theo Rossi, Emily the Criminal, Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere.
Well, there's another acting category, and it's where Austin Butler should be.
Oh,
But we'll
breakthrough.
talk about
Is there a
that.
breakthrough
Yeah.
performance?
Yes, there
Well,
is for
he'll win it.
newbies,
He'll
little
win it.
kids who try to sing on American Idol.
He'll win that because he won the breakthrough performance for the Palm Springs Film Festival, so I think he'll win this. But
Of
support
course, he's not nominated for this, but because he has acted before. It's real people who are actually breakthrough, not just like a supporting award category for a guy who doesn't win the real things.
well,
Anyway,
you know
sorry.
what, though?
Let's talk about Brian Tyree Henry.
Brendan Fraser did not get a Best Lead Performance Indie Spirit nomination, so
Well, Indie Spirit Awards are weird.
yeah,
They're
or
weird,
or
and they're weirder this year.
it's but at least, you make fun of Austin Butler for being at the kiddie table, but at least he's in the room. Brendan Fraser was not allowed in to the Indie Spirits, so take that as you
I
will,
mean, literally, if we go by what the Indie Spirit Awards, Paul Mescal is going to win lead actor
because he got the
in
nomination
the
and not
Oscars. Like,
anyone else. Yeah.
if you really want to like read into the Indie Spirit Awards, then you're not going to be doing very well.
Well, in supporting performance, Kiwi Kwan is nominated. He's one of the 10. But as I was
Mhm.
saying, Jamie Lee Curtis is nominated.
There's too many people to beat him.
Jonathan Tucker from Palm Trees and Power Lines. Nina Haas from Tar. She was the student, right? I think she was the
Mhm.
Brian Tyree Henry, who's also got the Oscar nomination. Brian Darcy James from The Cathedral. Kiwi Kwan. Mark Rylance from Bones and All. That is, to me, an awful nomination. Mark Rylance is not good. And Gabriel Union, The Inspection. So is there it I kind of could see Kiwi Kwan not winning the Indie Spirit. Like, wouldn't it feel weird for him to win this, honestly?
I think that anyone who has been mentioned in these categories has a chance to win this. And it's really only Jamie Lee Curtis, Brian Tyree Henry, Kiwi Kwan, and maybe Nina Haas.
Uh-huh.
But I think it will be Kiwi Kwan because there's too many people in the category. That there's too many people,
Mm,
so like there's not a big enough group who could go some other way.
right, right, right.
I
Like,
think when people are part of a voting body, they're excited to be able to vote. Like when you went in and voted for Obama, it just felt better.
mhm, mhm.
It feels good when you get your chance to vote for Kiwi Kwan, you know?
And that, probably other people are voting for him too, and I get
Right.
to be part of that. Yeah, it is a situation where if he was one of 5 with pretty much any of these other 4,
Yeah.
I could see him not winning it, but yeah, like you said, so many people are gonna have not seen most of these that then
Mhm.
they'll just vote for the guy who they know. Like, everyone has seen his movie at this point.
Yeah.
Um, l-
Okay.
let's take a look for best director. If any of this is going to matter, I mean, Helena Regine, who directed Bodies, 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 Daniel Kwan, Everything Everywhere, Sarah Polley, Women Talking, Todd Field, Tar, Daniel Scheinert, Everything Everywhere. So I guess they're nominated together, I would assume. And
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Um it's like okay, so Pulp Fiction's nominated at the Oscars, right?
mhm,
But then also before that, there's a Miramax award show.
right, right.
And like I feel like that's what this is for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Is
It's like the best of Everything Everywhere All at Once award show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they do. You're right. They do have to win this, and I think it's a situation where there isn't anything else that's a competitor that could get the momentum. I mean, maybe Todd Field, the Indie Spirits look at this as like, let's go all in on Tar because the other guys are going to win the Oscar, but probably not. The Daniels will probably
No.
win this too.
Yeah, and it's the same battle in Screenplay between Tar and Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it's just not going to happen for Tar.
Yeah.
Tar's not good enough. I love Tar. I love the director. I love Kate Blanchett, but The movie's not better than Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that's just a fucking fact.
I mean, I think that obviously it's all personal taste. I mean, if I were voting on
No,
what
Nick Turner's taste is the taste of the
well,
world.
then you are correct. I cannot argue with you there. Best screenplay, yeah, it's Tar versus Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sarah Polly's in there too. Let's give it
Even
up.
editing, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Tar.
So you don't think that Lena Dunham, who is nominated for Best Screenplay for
Call Me
Catherine
Birdie.
Called Birdie, you don't think she has any shot?
Well, that's the one exception. I
Uh,
think she's gonna win.
yeah, here's the thing about the Indie Spirit Awards as it pertains to our show. I don't know if there's anything worth betting on here because in the end, it is a crapshoot. As much as we think Everything Everywhere and the Daniels are going to win a lot on Saturday, they also very easily could lose to a
Yeah,
movie
it
no
doesn't
one's
matter.
seen.
And it's a lot like BAFTAs, where it's like you get a lot of categories with different people and movies in them,
Hmm.
and it doesn't correlate.
Right,
And that's like this. It's like half the movies are the movies that are going to be up for the Oscars, but then half of like the front runners for the Oscars aren't even in these categories.
right.
Like Navalny isn't nominated for documentary. There's no way. This is not good. This is not a good way to tell.
So here's one category that I think we need to make a correction on. Best breakthrough performance. Austin Butler is not nominated.
No, of course he's not nominated. I was kidding because it's like children.
I did believe you because I had just read a list of like 15 breakthrough performance awards he had won this year. But yes,
Yeah.
he is not nominated for breakthrough performance at the Indie Spirit Awards. So
Right. No,
Stephanie
Stephanie Hsu,
Hugh
yes, is the
is.
only famous person.
So she has to win, I would think.
Oh, it'd be insane if she didn't win.
Yeah, she actually is nominated against what looks like two legitimate children are in this category.
Yes.
So it's one of those
And the
awards.
other adults are like 19.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So also After Sun is the only other movie here that people have seen. Palm Trees and Power Lines also got a acting nomination,
yep,
but I don't know how many people saw it still.
something called Funny Pages.
It's hilarious. Murina, like Purina, the dog food, but with an M. It's like
Yes.
Moulin Springs.
Yeah, this is a category where I could see legitimately one or two of the people who don't win may cry when their name is not called because they are children. So that's something to
Right.
look for. Yes,
Oh,
Stephanie Hsu
also,
has to win.
Best International Film. Oh my God, the close up on children losing award shows. There's got to be a supercut of that out somewhere.
Like, come on, that's got to
I
be.
would love that. Best International Film, another category where the front runner is not in here. In fact, none of the movies in this in this category have I ever heard of.
So
Not one.
here is the one that I would say is maybe a slam doink is best international film. Saint Omer seems to be the consensus like critical underground favorite. So if I was putting
Okay.
money on anything in the Indie Spirit Awards, it might be Saint Omer to win international film. I have not seen it. I don't actually know what it's about, but I have heard through the grapevine that
Would you say All the Beauty and the Bloodshed for best documentary, considering that A House Made of Splinters and All That Breathes are the only other Oscar movies that are in contention, and All That Breathes is one of the most boring movies that I've ever seen 35 minutes of?
I agree with that one too. Yeah, I think All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is going to win Indie Best Documentary.
Okay. All right, let's wrap it up. What do we got to do?
I mean, listen, we got to watch. Everyone's got to watch the Indie Spirit Awards after that rousing advertisement we just gave it. You got to watch it. It's probably on IFC.
What day is it?
It is this Saturday, March 4th. It's probably on the IFC cable network. If
Oof.
so you got to find that. I'm sure it's streaming on YouTube somewhere.
I like it when award shows are on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, listen, IFC as a TV channel is basically YouTube at this point. So
All right, guys, check us out on Twitter. We got a show Twitter. We got our own Twitters. Check us out on Patreon. It's easy to find. Email us at the Show Me the Money podcast at gmail.com. Just tell us something. We'd love to read an email from you next week, right,
mhm.
Pat?
I would love it would be the first in the history of the show. So send us
We only put this, we've never said this out loud on the show. I don't think the name of our email, but it's the Show Me the Money podcast at gmail.com. Be the first person to email us, and we will feature you on the
we'll
podcast.
read whatever you write. So perfect time to get your
Anything.
manifestos
Unless
out there.
unless it's talking about how Austin Butler is going to win something.
Especially list all his
uh
breakthrough performances.
all right. Well, go all the beauty and the bloodshed.
Yep,
And we will see you. Listen to the BO boys,
of
obviously.
course. Yeah.
Listen to the Fraudsters podcast, and we love you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Oscars predictions next week. Going to be huge.